So the time has come for the trivia results. Our guests did the same trivia that you did. Let's find out how they did. So Kate, Hampton, and Em, how did you function as a trivia team? Was it a perfect symbiosis, or maybe was somebody not pulling their weight as much? Commensally, maybe?
Oh,
I feel like it was mostly anecdotes, and then we were like, is this the answer?
Yeah. Seems about right.
All right, well, that's the way to do it, I would say. So let's dive right in. Question 1. Millions of golden jellyfish rotate counterclockwise during their daily migration across Jellyfish Lake. How do these behaviors benefit their symbiont?
My immediate thought was orientationally, are they going around like this, or are they going around like this?
Damn. That's
Like, is it this a tentacles up situation?
No, it is spinning like a top.
All right, that's the
I did
boring
not
way to
think
do
of that
it, but
at
it's fine.
Not as fun, but okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So what's your answer?
That was the answer.
Yeah, we just think they're having a nice, silly little time.
They're just having a
And
nice
time.
They're just
For the
trying to-
synchronization of other fish,
Yep.
because they're dancing and having a little
Exactly. It's
party.
under the sea. You saw the
They're
movie.
keeping the romance alive.
Okay. Okay, they're locking in having a great time. The answer was not having a great time. It was by providing even exposure to the sun.
I did kind of say that, and then I was like, nah.
Doesn't count till it's out here. So basically, golden jellyfish have a symbiotic relationship with a photosynthetic algae that lives inside its body. By moving basically west to east across this lake every single day, they maximize the amount of time that the sun is hitting them. And also, the reason they spin counterclockwise is just to make sure that all the algae within their bodies kind of get cooked evenly, basically.
Rotisserie jellyfish.
How did they get in the lake? I feel like I don't
good question.
associate jellyfish with lake.
At some point, I believe the sea level was high enough that it was like
And then they got
there was a connected,
trapped?
and since then it is. I don't know. I think that there are places that seawater filters through, but I don't know whether they can like transit between them, because there are closely related jellyfish that actually look very different, but have that same symbiotic relationship that are in like the waters around it too. But it's diverged, over enough time to look extremely different.
Thank you for doing the research. I'm just asking you questions, and you're like, yes.
Thank you.
This is
Give it up
exactly
for
what.
doing the research.
So just this last part about them. So this is the golden jellyfish of Jellyfish Lake, which is in Palau. There's another lake called Big Jellyfish Lake. They have jellyfish in them, but one of them is, say it with me, bigger. Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
So this relationship between their photosynthetic algae and the jellyfish is super important. And actually, there was one year, I believe it was 1998, where there was like an El Nino kind of weather situation where it raised the water temperature, and it was too warm for their symbionts to survive, and all of the jellyfish in their Medusa form died off. There were none left in the lake. But that is not the only part of the jellyfish life cycle. There were still polyps around, and they were able to grow back into like millions and millions of Medusa that live there now, and they're back to their normal levels, which is great. So question 2. Some birds, true or false, some birds engage in mafia behavior, laying their eggs in other birds' nests and threatening to destroy the nest unless their chicks are raised as well.
Birds are mean,
Yeah, they're assholes.
so this seems
They,
right.
well, for birds, they're cloaca.
Yeah.
What
Yeah, we
I
say true.
mean, you even like thought of a bird that.
Oh
does
yeah,
that.
the catbird.
The catbird, okay.
Yeah, no, they.
That's not one of your Avengers.
No, the
Catbird
catbird will
alert.
probably kill all my Avengers. as well.
They're the second string.
So you're saying true or false? True is what you're saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but now that you're looking at me, I feel like there's something nitpickily wrong about it.
Well, if you look at the screen, you will see that it was true.
Oh, good. I'm sorry,
Yes.
I was mean to you.
It's okay. True. It's birds such as the cuckoo and the cowbird, and maybe also a catbird. I hadn't read about
was
that
it
one.
a cowbird? Okay, that's what I was
That might be a different bird. I don't know. Yeah, what would a catbird be?
I don't know.
They,
Freaking
they,
Cats
they,
are also
I'm
assholes.
interested. Yeah, that's
so-
true.
they sound like cats, and they're assholes because they trick me and think that there are cats nearby. That's what they actually do.
They're catbirds? Oh, cool. All right, great.
Oh, see,
Hey.
I was
Do
right
they
about
do
something.
this?
Yeah, you just know
Okay.
New York City birds.
Okay, cool.
Cowbird.
No,
Okay. But
they're-
it doesn't matter if they don't, because it's just some birds engage in this thing that
Yeah.
is actually called mafia behavior, which is a hypothesis to explain basically why this is an evolutionarily successful strategy. So birds such as the cuckoo and the cowbird are known as brood parasites and have been observed to lay their eggs in the nests of other bird species so that they can avoid the costs of raising chicks themselves. So the other birds are just basically like, hey, those are not mine, and they destroy them or toss them out of the nest or whatever. And in response, the brood parasite comes back to the nest and is just basically like, what a nice nest you have here. It'd be a shame if something happened to it. And then they destroy it. And so eventually the other birds basically just learn that it's just better for everyone if they just also raise the other chicks. So here's also an example of the eggs do not look alike. Some brood parasites try to make their eggs look as similar as possible, but these are just like, we don't need to bother with that. We're just gonna beat them up. Yeah, it's
doesn't
like
look different to me.
But you gotta see your problem, my guy.
I think it looks like a scene from The Godfather.
Hey, boo.
Question three. Boxer crabs have a symbiotic relationship with what stinging organism, holding one in each claw and defensively waving them around?
So we said they go at their enemies with anemones.
Yeah, we thought that this was like a really aggressive Nemo situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The answer is, in fact, anemones.
You got me.
Yes, boxer crabs carry around tufts of sea anemones in order to sting would-be predators. They are also known as the cheerleader crab because of their symbiotic pom-poms, and also because they are very supportive. Something interesting about this is that the crab actually collects food particles using the tentacles of the anemone, and the anemone just gets to keep some for itself. And if the crabs lose one of their pom-poms, they basically just rip the other one in half, and they both grow back. And apparently that doesn't bother the anemone at all, like for real.
Did anyone ask it?
Well, the crab assured me that it was fine.
Oh, okay. Are you also listening to cuckoo birds?
Yeah.
There's actually another crab called a decorated crab that does something similar, where they decorate themselves with like seaweed, they like kelp and stuff like that to blend in with their environment.
Have you seen this one? They look like they have little smiles. It's so cute. Or it's kind of like they're giving you a little flower as well. It's very sweet.
A sting flower.
Yeah.
Sting flower, like a nettle. Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Question 4. Which one of the following is not a pair of symbiotic organisms? Is it A, warthog and mongoose, B, crocodile and plover, C, coyote and badger, or D, raven and opossum?
What opossum is that? What the hell?
It's the Australian opossum.
okay.
That's right.
Oh, and
I
in
did-
New Zealand, they are endangered, and
Yeah.
you can kill them, and their fur is awesome. So if you go to New Zealand, buy something that's opossum fur. It's a hollow fiber, but it's super warm, so it's
we
really
don't- we
light
don't
and warm.
condone poaching.
And I have gloves, and it makes me laugh.
These are basically the spotted lanternflies of New Zealand.
They
You're
are.
supposed to stomp them on sight, which is not so fun.
Wait,
Yeah,
so these
'cause
opossums
they-
are invasive?
Yeah, in New Zealand, because
Right.
they eat all the weird land birds that New Zealand's got going.
I think it's plants. I don't know if possums eat little birds. Do they?
The eggs.
Oh,
I
that
think.
okay. I see.
Yeah.
So anyway, is it A, B, C, or D?
Oh wait, the question.
Oh,
Okay.
what do-
So you're looking for the pair of these organisms that are not in a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, I think it's an egg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we thought ravens are really smart, so it seems like they could have a symbiotic relationship
Yeah,
with
they
something.
could, they could trick the possums
Yeah, they
into
could
And
make them
then
do their-
bidding.
do
I
their
think
stuff.
you guys knew that B and C were real. Is that right?
Yeah, C
Yeah.
is real.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
I forget what they do, but
Bee, the
that's
birds, and the crocodiles. And then warthog and mongoose, they seem vicious and entirely too competent already by themselves. I don't know if they need any help.
All right, so final answer.
We think A.
So A is not a symbiotic organism pair.
A
Okay.
is
Yes.
The answer is in fact D.
not.
So the warthog and mongoose have a symbiotic relationship where the warthog, and they'll basically be observed to just sort of like wander out and then just lay down, and that's the signal for the mongoose to come basically eat ticks off of them. So the mongoose gets
That's
food,
what I thought was
the
happening
warthog
with the
gets
possum.
cleaned. As we mentioned a little bit, the middle two are also symbiotic relationships. So this bird is not in trouble. So basically what happens is crocodiles will just open their mouths, plovers will come flying. These are like, I believe in like Egypt. I think this is specifically like the Nile crocodile. And then the bird basically cleans out its teeth after the crocodile has a meal. The bird gets to eat and the crocodile gets its teeth cleaned, which is important. And C, badger and coyote. This one's really interesting. Coyotes and badgers eat similar food, but they have different hunting strategies. So what happens is coyotes will chase the like small little animals above ground, and badgers will dig below ground. And they've basically, they've figured out over the course of like co-evolving, I guess, together, that if they hunt together, they have a much better like hunting success rate. So they just hang out, which is weird because they're otherwise very like solitary animals. So it's a cool adaptation.
Okay.
So if the prey is getting chased by the coyote, goes into like a burrow, the badger gets them, the badger flushes them out, then the coyote gets them. So it works out great. Ravens and opossums actually do not have any positive relationship whatsoever. When I was looking up this just to make sure, I found several videos that were like titled like ravens bullying baby opossum. It was like somebody's dash cam footage where they got out and helped, and the baby possum like climbed up its arm really fast. And then there were a bunch of other ones where the ravens were eating opossum, so not so good.
This should be the possum, though. If it's the Australian one, it's just possum. If it's the American one, it's opossum.
Gotcha. Well, then that's a mistake. So I guess that you're right. Then I guess they get the point.
There we go.
Because it's not true. I mean, I bet that opossums and then ravens in like North America probably aren't getting along.
I thought it might be the tick thing, because like
That's interesting.
opossums get a lot of ticks in North America, and I don't know, ravens could want ticks.
Maybe. Question 5.
I don't know. Let's move on.
The bobtail squid conceals itself from bottom-dwelling predators and prey through its symbiotic relationship with a bacteria that emits waves of what?
Bioluminescence.
Okay, so waves of light.
That's
Yeah.
Light waves, that's a wave.
It's a deep
And
sea
particles, I dare
thing.
say.
Deep sea light
Deep
is
sea.
like a thing.
Yeah.
I learned that
Yeah.
from also Nemo. It's coming in handy today.
Did anybody else think of any other waves in the audience? Oh, yeah, I mean light. Yeah, the answer is light.
Okay.
Basically, the way this works is that the bobtail squid is swimming, and especially like twilight night times when there's like moonlight above it in the water, like shining down, basically its silhouette would make it very easy to see from below by predators and prey. So what it does is it emits light basically from a specialized thing called a light organ, and the bioluminescence in that light organ is produced by a bacteria. I think it's called Alivibrio fischeri or something like that. And basically, in exchange for this helpful light production, the squid gives it like a special like protein and like sugar solution, and then like makes it like a really nice environment for them, which has this really, really cool symbiotic relationship that tells us a little bit about like the immune system and immune interaction between like microorganisms and animals. So it's like being used as a study organism for that.
Cool. Sweet.
Yeah. So this is just a sort of a well, there was there you go. Okay, if I look this way and the clicker is this way, that works. So basically, it's something like this. Whereas other organisms, when they swim in front of like the starlight or the moonlight, they would sort of leave a silhouette like a shadow above you. But because they can basically match the light level, they also have a diffuser and like a lens built into this light organ and also photoreceptors on the mantle, I believe as well, or in the light organ that sort of match the light level and then diffuse it out and sort of distort it to make it look like it's coming through the surface of the water. It's this incredible adaptation.
They got a dimmer switch.
Yeah, they do. Question 6, true or false? Mistletoe is a parasitic plant that gets its name from the Middle English words for poisonberry.
No,
Em is all over this.
No, you know it means shit on a twig.
So you know it means shit on a twig.
Yes, and you do too, because
Yeah, I
we
do.
talked about this before in Facts Machine.
So false.
Do you want to
Yes.
tell us a little bit about the shit twig?
Shit on a twig.
The
Oh,
shit twig that
gosh.
people kiss under?
Romance is dead.
Aw.
I mean, from what I can recall, it's because like it was named after what it looked like growing on branches. So mistletoe is like a like a parasitic vine that like grows into and under like the bark of trees and sucks out their energy. And I guess the old English folks were like, that looks like some poop on that branch. That's what we're gonna call this thing. And then we're gonna make it Christmas.
Yeah. So interestingly, basically, as you were saying, where that comes from is basically when birds like eat the fruits and then like either disgorge this like sticky substance that's inside the fruits and like they either poop it out on the twig or they like wipe their beaks on it on the branch, so then that gets left behind. And so people basically observed that like, hey, this plant keeps growing out of shit on twigs.
That's what it is.
And so missile actually means either like dung or a sticky substance or even like urine. If you go like, Proto-Indo-European, like there's languages all throughout the world have like something related to this. And tan basically meant like twig.
Yep.
Disgorge is such a great word.
Yeah?
I just wanted to congratulate you on that.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Disgorgeous.
So one time where you can really see that mistletoe are like not part of the tree that they're on is when they're evergreen, and when other trees that they're on do lose their leaves in the fall, you can see them very clearly. There's another thing that's associated with this, but isn't actually mistletoe, is like this big crazy bramble of like branches that grow out when a parasite or sort of fungal infection is on a tree. And if you guys have ever heard of like it's called auxin, is this molecule that helps basically tree branches know when and where to grow, but that sort of goes haywire, and then they grow into this like weird little bramble of branches. It kind of looks like this, but this is not those. But they're called a witch's broom, which is really cool because they have that kind of like I don't know. You guys know about witch's brooms, right?
Yeah, you're right, though.
It's fine, I
I've
know.
been to Halloween.
I've been to Hogwarts. I know how it works.
This led to a very fun Wikipedia page called Festive Ecology, which is fascinating. Basically, the relationships between like the symbolism and the ecology of, plants, fungi, and animals that are associated with like festivals and cultural practices, which is a very cool read. So I recommend it. Question 7: which one of the following is not the name of a parasitic? Excuse me. I got mixed up here. Which one of the following is not the name of a hematophagic, which means blood-feeding animal? Is it A, the vampire fish, B, the vampire finch, C, the vampire snail, D, the vampire moth, or E, the Dracula fish?
We only knew that one of them was like real, right?
Yeah, so I know the vampire finch is a thing.
Okay.
I'm not sure about any of the other ones.
Okay. So what did y'all put?
We thought maybe the vampire moth, because moths are often named for like what they look like rather than what they do.
D was not the name of a blood-feeding hematophagic animal.
Yes.
The answer is E, Dracula fish.
Aww.
So let me just go through these. This is the vampire fish, also known as Candiru. This is one that's basically latched onto like the gill inside, where there's a lot of like blood close to the surface of the gill there, so it can feed off of that. The next one, this one's crazy. This one, the vampire finch, thought originally, as actually a lot of these sort of blood-eating organisms are thought to have done, have originally basically evolved to be able to get through like the tough outer like skins or hides of a fruit, basically, that was like hard for other animals to be able to eat. And then just happened upon the ability to basically get through skin and then get nutrients from blood. Here's another picture. They're fucking horrible. If you look these up, there are stunning pictures from wildlife photographers of a million different murder scenes. But I guess they're not technically murder scenes because the animals don't, strictly speaking, die from this. I read a great quote that was basically that parasites are predators that eat prey in units of less than one. Which is a good way to think about it.
I mean, that bird looked terrifying.
Yeah.
This is the vampire snail. It feeds basically, specifically what I read about it was on sleeping fish. So it creeps up to, gets nearby a sleep fish, extends its little weird, piercing mouth organ thing, and sucks blood from it, which sucks. And this is the vampire moth. This is another one of those fruits.
They do have a mouth.
Fruit-eating insects or organisms that basically it just turns out they could also do this if they needed to. I guess at some point they had been observed to do this on like livestock or like wild sort of large mammals. Like, I don't know, oxen and stuff or whatever. But then a study found out that they will feed off of humans. So basically this is just like, given the opportunity and no other food, they can pierce the skin of and drink the blood of humans. Cool. This is the Dracula fish. Now, this fish does not suck blood, so why is it called the Dracula fish? Any guesses?
Because it's
It's
very
transparent.
pale.
That's a really interesting answer. It's not that.
Is it because Dracula can't see his reflection or something like that?
That was sort of where I thought you were
Should
going
be
with that.
named like a John Cena fish.
Yeah. No, it's not that. It is they're little sharp toofies. They actually, I believe this is true, they evolutionarily like lost their true teeth and then re-evolved these little fangs that they have. They're not for sucking blood. I'm not even sure they're for predation. I think they're just for like hanging on to something. Unrelated, well, it's relatedly, but not directly to the vampire thing. I came across this electron microscope image of them as a larva. It's just,
Oh God.
and then I didn't put them in here. We don't have enough time, but I'm gonna tell you there are a lot more pictures of these kind of animals and other animals that people have done like EM on these like larvae, and they always have the craziest little faces. So I encourage you to Google that at the after party.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
So final question tonight. Question 8. Dogs are vulnerable to a now single-celled parasite that split off from what multicellular vertebrate approximately 11,000 years ago?
We didn't already know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is where the anecdotes came in. 'Cause the
Yeah.
only thing I know about is Tasmanian devils have a face cancer that they give each other through biting each other in the face. So, and it's a like contagious face cancer. So I thought maybe it was that, but that's the only
Yeah.
one I know about.
And one
So-
bit of dog, and the rest is history.
So
Yeah.
you're saying the answer is Tasmanian devils.
Yes.
The answer is not Tasmanian devils. It's a dog.
Oh, so they just
For
did
exactly
the same thing.
the same reason.
Oh.
Oh, damn.
Basically, there are, about 11,000 years ago or something, there's some questions about basically the reliability of tracing the the different mutations that can sometimes function as like a sort of molecular clock. You can tell by like how many mutations in the DNA have happened. It happens at a relatively stable rate in some instances. They're estimating kind of like with a range of like 1 to 2,000 on either side about 11,000 years ago. There was a very like genetically homogeneous group of like early dogs, not wolves, some like coyote representation in their genome as well. But they were so not different from each other that basically one of them developed a tumor, and it was like a blood cell tumor that then was
Yeah.
able to like transplant onto a different dog, and they were similar enough that the like immune system didn't recognize them as something that was not self. It has been passed between dogs ever since. And it is the oldest cell lineage in the entire world. It's the oldest tumor in the world, still is cancer. Several others between mammals have come up. One is the Tasmanian devil, like face tumor cancer. And then there's I forget the other one. I think it's like hamsters or something. There's like a really sad one. But basically, this is a sexually transmitted dog cancer
Oh, sexually.
that is a basically independent organism and has been for over 10,000 years, asexually reproducing, single-celled, and causes a cancer by the cell itself being located on another animal. So effectively lives as a new species, a parasitic organism.
Oh, it's so cool and so horrifying.
Yeah, I was just saying, like,
And I'm
Kate,
about to
I'm
show
sorry
you
for
a
your
picture of it right
anxiety.
here. No,
'Cause
just
this
kidding.
is-
Come on, guys. That dog got stung by a bee. Come on, I wouldn't show you. If you look it up at the after party, it's harrowing.
Oh, don't do it.